Guys, I'm worried. I am very I expected a reaction every single time this season when Arsenal loses a game, especially in the Premier League. We've recovered, we've bounced back immediately. We've gone on. I think the first time we lost this one was against Liverpool. I think after that we went like a 12, 13 unbeaten run, most of which were wins. Then we lost against Aston Villa in December, and we did the same thing, right? We just went on this crazy run of consistent wins, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, Premier League games. Then we lost again against Man United and went on a run up until against Manchester City in the Carabao Cup, where we were abysmal in the second half of that game. Multiple reasons. We played the wrong goalkeeper. Okay, yeah, but we couldn't build up how we needed to build up. Couldn't control. We couldn't. Our style of football that was very, very physically domineering, that usually grinds down opposition, couldn't do that anymore. Couldn't find that spark. It's almost like Rice and Zubimendi, they were running on empty. Like I don't know, most of our players are they carrying niggles. My major issue, a major takeaway from this game is number one, a total lack of reaction after getting out of the Carabao Cup. There was no reaction. The best player on the pitch was a 16-year-old, right? Odegaard, first half, a lot of touches. He had the best chance in the game. The first half from a cut back from Martinelli that he was supposed to smash in, but the ball ricocheted off his standing foot and was nearly a goal, but it didn't go in. But otherwise, Odegaard was very good in the first half. He came in deep. He got the ball. He got on the ball. Helped us to progress play. Miles Lewis Kelly was, I don't know what he was doing. Like he left Gabriel isolated so many times. It looked like the game wasn't a game that required an extra midfielder because we're still getting bypassed in the midfield anyway. So you might as well stand in your position. Sometimes I know there might be game plans and everything, but it's your job as a footballer to understand the game states and execute, right? He's an 18-year-old, 19-year-old player who hasn't had a lot of football this season. I know a lot of people are clamoring for him to play. But the problem is every single game is important. There's so much pressure in every single game we play, and he hasn't been up to the standard this season. I also admit that he hasn't got enough games. So he had a very poor outing. Gabriel was pretty good. A lot of clearances, a lot of defending. He had to do a lot of defending against Southampton. Mosquera and him, there's a lack of understanding, and I still see the same issue with Saliba in the second half. Mosquera was decent, covered a lot for whatever reason. Both of our fullbacks, they were always not in the right defensive shape. Benjamin White was horrible off the ball in the first half. On the ball, it was good, it was decent, but off the ball, it was just horrendous. Like, are you went to talking, went not to talking, like always green grass on the right and left wing when we're being attacked by Southampton. And they scored. They scored from one of these excursions, and from there we just struggled to get back in the game. Mikel didn't make any changes in the second half. Then he made some changes. Then Havertz got us back into the game. That was a brilliant run. He made similar runs in the first half that we just didn't see. We're busy passing the ball left, right, and center when this guy's peeling off the defender. And a brilliant line breaking pass from Gabriel and a cutback from Havertz to Gyökeres. And Gyökeres smashed it home. That was a clinical finish from a centre forward. And the next 10 minutes, it looks like we're going to score the second goal. And suddenly we got caught on a counter again. And Southampton score and came over, essentially. So it's a strange game. Like nothing worked. The attack didn't work. The midfield was imbalanced. We got bypassed a lot of time. The defense, yeah, like consistently didn't know the right area to occupy it. Who is the ball playing defender between Gabriel and Mosquera? No, nobody could dictate the game from deep. We're having similar issues that we had in the Carabao Cup. I know Rice is probably going to come back into the team. I don't know his physical state. If it's strange if two of your best players, well, one of the pillars in the team in Rice and Saka, were not even on the bench. What does that tell you? Is tells you one of two things. It's either they are worse than we can ever imagine. Maybe they're in the worse shape than we thought. Or I think that doesn't fancy the FA Cup because there's many times where we know Rice and Saka are knackered and they tend to play these games. So like maybe he's looked at it and say if it's not the worst thing to get out of this cup to give us the best chance to win the league, which is the ultimate objective. But also it would have been lovely to win a cup along the way. Now we're left with the Premier League and the Champions League. Gotta win the league, guys. And I know the players are feeling the pressure, the fans are feeling the pressure. There's gonna be a lot of negative things coming out in the next few days. This is normal. Crazy articles about our style of play. Everything's just gonna come all over again. But just gotta sit tight, believe in the boys. This is not so dissimilar to 99.999% of seasons in history. Like Liverpool at a point last season, they were gonna win the quadruple. They fell out of multiple cup competitions in like a week and everything was over, right? So similar to even the great Manchester City teams, the great United teams, those teams that were exponentially better than this team, they were only able to do the treble just once. Let's take stock of the moment and try and understand, okay, it is what it is. Hopefully we can get Odegaard more minutes in Lisbon during the week. Hopefully Eze can come back into the group. And in a game like this, it would have been lovely to have Nkapie start, maybe Mount Skelly play midfield. That would have been more better than having to have it who's played multiple games during international break, Greg Torres and all these guys, just slam them back into the starting 11. But we've lost the quadruple or the treble dream that was never realistic anyway. It's over. So the focus now is on the Champions League and the Premier League games. I'm just gotta grind season until we can win what we need to win. We need to win. So pretty disappointed. I'm sure you guys are disappointed too, but this is the situation. Let's attack the rest of the season with all our vigor and see where we place. Hopefully, we can be lifting the Premier League and the Champions League trophies at the end of the season. Thank you for having me.